In an engaging and wide-ranging conversation, Adam Carolla shares unvarnished insights on topics spanning immigration, political activism, gender dynamics in leadership, cultural shifts, and the impacts of technology. Anchored by his blue-collar sensibility and common-sense worldview, Carolla offers criticism of contemporary social and political issues, reflecting on personal experience and societal trends alike. The discussion touches on the challenges facing society, the nature of political energy, AI's future, and the cultural consequences of shifting power balances. Carolla expresses amazement at the sustained energy people dedicate to political protests and movements, often fueled by dissatisfaction or a lack of personal meaning. He posits that individuals without fulfilling lives seek purpose through activism or social media engagement, which imbues them with a sense of identity and mission. This energy, he suggests, can sometimes seem disproportionate or disconnected from practical realities, such as road rage incidents or intense protests. Drawing on personal anecdotes, Carolla critiques the current culture of outrage and the exhaustion many feel from nonstop social battles over contentious issues. Highlighting the grounding influence of parenthood, Carolla contends that having children serves as a powerful deterrent against excessive or performative activism. Responsible parents prioritize their families over participating in extreme social behaviors or protests, mindful of their example and long-term legacy. He champions engagement through tangible projects, skilled labor, and hands-on work as antidotes to societal malaise, reflecting on the psychological strain caused by the modern shift away from physical work towards sedentary, cubicle-bound lifestyles. This disconnect, he argues, depletes people's resilience and common sense, weakening the collective ability to confront danger or adversity. Drawing from ideas in Desmond Morris's The Human Zoo, Carolla discusses how dense urban living replicates the conditions of animals in captivity, leading to mental distress, reduced fertility, and increased violence. He criticizes modern society's trend toward confined living and excessive safety measures, contrasting it with the freedom and fulfillment found in nature and manual labor. This urbanized experiment in human life challenges fundamental biological and psychological needs, contributing to a disconnect from reality and a diminished relationship with risk and danger. Carolla playfully comments on the resurgence of words once deemed offensive, emphasizing their nuanced usage, especially in subcultures like automotive enthusiasts. He critiques the overreach of political correctness, particularly in technical jargon, such as master and slave cylinders in car mechanics, underscoring a growing divide between linguistic evolution in technology and social sensitivities. This discussion extends to skepticism about the internet's role in creating false expertise, as many people adopt opinions on complex subjects like vaccines without adequate knowledge, leading to misinformation and social confusion. Reflecting on his own career and the changing media environment, Carolla defends the function of comedians in shaping public opinion and political discourse. He draws parallels between modern political podcasts hosted by comedians and earlier formats like The Daily Show, arguing that humor and opinion are long-standing vehicles to engage audiences on serious issues. While noting the challenges comedians face balancing humor and sensitivity, he insists that having an audience grants a license to speak candidly, provided the intent and context are understood. He contrasts this with the restrictions applied to other professions, affirming the unique position comedy holds in public conversation. Carolla candidly addresses immigration, emphasizing that the cultures immigrants bring inevitably influence their new homes. Using vivid examples from Los Angeles, he explains that cultural practices, such as street vending and culinary traditions, reflect the origins of immigrant communities and transform local life. He challenges the reluctance to acknowledge this reality due to fears of racism or xenophobia, stressing that admitting the consequences of open-door policies is necessary for honest debate. Comparing experiences in the US and the UK, he underscores that demographic changes bring political shifts tied to community interests, which must be openly addressed rather than ignored. Throughout the discussion, Carolla reflects on the dynamics of American politics, specifically around figures like Donald Trump. He describes the cyclical nature of political chaos, intentionally stoked by opposition groups who then appeal to the public's desire for stability. Using a metaphor about shutting the front door, he illustrates how public fatigue over constant conflict propels people toward seeking compromise or peace, even at the cost of ignoring ongoing problems. He also comments on the performative aspects of political narratives orchestrated by elites who alternate between exacerbating crises and proposing modest solutions. One of Carolla's more provocative assertions concerns the increasing feminization of political leadership and its societal consequences. Drawing on personal observations and references to viral writing such as Helen Andrews's work, he argues that female leaders tend to prioritize process, discussion, and caution more than decisive action, which can lead to inefficiency and stagnation. He contrasts the traditionally male focus on action and results with what he terms the female preference for discourse and consensus building. Carolla predicts that as the balance shifts toward more female leadership and influence, cultural and political outcomes will reflect this shift, sometimes detrimentally in his view, cautioning against idealizing a complete takeover by feminine governance. Carolla explores the interplay of courage, guilt, and privilege in contemporary social debates. He suggests that people from privileged backgrounds, especially white males, often face an internal conflict where acknowledging their advantages provokes guilt, which in turn dampens their willingness to speak out or resist prevailing narratives. He contrasts his own experience of rising from poverty with affluent politicians who may overcompensate by championing disadvantaged groups. This dynamic, he believes, contributes to a societal courage deficit where fear of reprisal or accusation silences candid discussion. Turning to technology, Carolla offers a tempered perspective on AI's impact. While he acknowledges the inevitability and benefits of technological progress, he stresses that many trades and skilled labor jobs will remain resistant to automation for the foreseeable future. Drawing from his experience visiting construction sites, he highlights the tangible, physical nature of much work that requires dexterity, judgment, and human presence. He cautions, however, that the speed of technological change is accelerating and some jobs will be rendered obsolete, necessitating adaptive thinking and new skill acquisition. He expresses concern that displaced workers may resist retraining or employment, potentially leading to dependency on welfare or universal basic income, which he views skeptically. Carolla weighs in on freedom of speech and employment consequences, referencing recent controversies such as Jimmy Kimmel's misstatements. He articulates support both for free expression and the right of employers to set boundaries and impose sanctions. This nuanced stance reflects the complexity of navigating public discourse in an era of heightened sensitivity. He emphasizes accuracy over popularity in his own work, striving to balance humor with responsibility while recognizing that pushing boundaries is part of comedy's role. Throughout the conversation, Adam Carolla intertwines personal narrative with cultural critique, continually returning to themes of common sense, personal responsibility, and the practical realities shaping daily life. His unfiltered style challenges prevailing orthodoxies in politics, social movements, gender dynamics, and technological change, inviting listeners to reconsider assumptions through the lens of experience and straightforward observation.